Hello, everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Wow, everything is kicking off, baby. It's kicking off like the referee's whistle. Bayern Munich, Robert Lewandowski, FC Barcelona. We are going to be talking about that today. Some amazing news from Bayern. Serge Gnabry, great news from that camp. A really, really amazing development in the story to see Gnabry stay at Bayern. It's just a good morning. And then we're going to be talking about some Ligt news. Apparently, Juventus have a new thing. It's like every hour there's a journalist that says, Juventus only want 90 million for Ligt. Another source says, Juventus only want 100 million for Ligt. Some other source says, Juventus only want 80 million for Ligt. It's weird. Like, there's so much speculation over what Juventus are wanting for Ligt, but there's only one answer. Whatever they agree with Bayern, that's what they're going to get. So let's talk about Robert Lewandowski first. First off, he was present at the DFL photo shoot with his teammates, the Allianz Arena. The team presentation is tomorrow, so that's when the players take pictures and all sorts of things. Barcelona is hoping they can reach an agreement with Bayern before that. Lewandowski is expected to be there tomorrow for the team presentation if an agreement with Barcelona isn't reached by that time. And the clubs are in direct contact. It's getting serious. Okay, so that's for starters. Lewandowski is expected to be at the photo shoot, assuming a deal with Barcelona isn't done yet. This is what I was trying to say. I've been on this train for the last month and a half. I've already said this a billion times. We should not have allowed Lewandowski to come into this training and bring this tension. We should have just sold him. But I got convinced over the last few weeks that we need to destroy Barcelona. We need to suck that club dry of their finances before I'm happy. But there's some other news surrounding Lewandowski. A breakthrough between Bayern and Barcelona took place Thursday. Well, the only club breaking down is Barcelona, so Bayern ain't going through no breaks. Okay, but anyways, the clubs unofficially reached an agreement in principle for Lewandowski. So essentially, Barcelona said our newest bid is going to be around here and around here. So they reached an agreement. It's out in the metaverse now. But that doesn't mean it's an official agreement. It's an unofficial agreement. It's now just a matter of time and formalities. A deal could be completed before tomorrow's Bayern team presentation. So like in the next 48 hours, some crazy things could happen. Literally, I could be live right now and Fabrizio Romano says something new. Like it can happen. So that's what's going on. And it looks like Bayern are going in for Konrad Laimer. I'm going to monitor Fabrizio Romano's Twitter account. I expect all of you to tell me if he sends out any new messages. But Lewandowski, everything is getting intense. I mean, so this saga really started with Bayern's interest in Erling Haaland. Lewandowski felt underappreciated. And also he knows there was a story that said Lewandowski's frustrated because he might miss out on this 3-year deal at Barcelona, which is a deal Bayern won't offer him. So there you have it. Lewandowski's going to Barcelona because they're stupid enough to pay 50 million for a 34-year-old and then give him like millions and millions and millions in wages for 3 years. He's going to retire there. I mean, it's a freaking great deal if I'm Lewandowski. Bayern were probably giving him the same money and just keeping him still. And Lewandowski was like, well, I can make more at Barcelona. It can probably be more beneficial for my brand as well to play in La Liga and Barcelona with all their Instagram followers. That's what he's thinking. Players think like that. So if you don't think for yourself, Lewandowski's thinking of the financial package that comes with a 3-year contract at Barcelona, then you're crazy. But here's the problem. Barcelona are forcing De Jong out because they need to register Christensen and Frank Kessie from Milan on a free, which is a really good free signing. The problem is you're pushing out one of your better players, highly rated midfielder Frankie de Jong, to accomplish it. What about Lewandowski? Do you need to sell someone else then too? Is that dependent on that? I'm not sure. Maybe Barcelona have an extra spot in their team to register an attacker, and Lewandowski has that spot reserved, and he's the only one they want. Then that would make a little bit more sense, right? But anything else, I just don't understand that club. That club is so confusing. It's like a woman. Barcelona is ran like women, bruh. They have, you don't know what they're saying. They don't make sense. Yeah, it's weird. They're confused. It's a confusing club because on one hand, I'm like, you're in chronic debt, and now you're selling your club's image to make some money to get some transfers done. I think they sold 25% of their image rights for the next 25 years for 200 and something million, and that's the money they're spending on transfers now. I'm just like, man, I would not do that. I would not do that. It's the Barca fans that are going to be complaining in 2 seasons. Oh, we shouldn't have signed Lewandowski. Like, if Lewandowski went to Chelsea, I'd probably be like, great, cool. But he's going to Barcelona, and the only reason is money. Let's be real. So that's what's going on. Bayern and Barcelona have an agreement in principle. Now, yeah, that it's going to be 50 million guaranteed or 45 million guaranteed, right? It won't be exactly what Bayern want. That's the point of negotiation. But it should be guaranteed in cash up front. I don't want any installments. Apparently, Barca still haven't paid for Arturo Vidal, who they signed from us a few years ago when he was 32 as well, and went there for 2 seasons and then pissed off to Inter Milan on a free contract. So Barca paid for all his wages and his transfer fee, but he didn't really do much for them because Sergio Busquets, even in his old age, is still a greater midfielder than Vidal ever would have been, but I guess they play different roles. Anyways, so now he's at Flamengo, and it's been like 4 years since he left Bayern, and they still owe us money. That's the funny thing. So Bayern are looking for money up front, no playing around. We understand Barcelona's situation, a very fragile club. They're like an egg. You could just drop it anywhere, and it's just going to be all over the place. So we need to wait and see what happens. And these Barca fans in my comments constantly screaming, look at Barca, look how good we are. I don't know, that's not even a Spanish accent. Well, they're in my comments, and I feel bad for them. I really do. Because they're like that broke friend that has a credit card, and they're going around flexing their, like, bro, you're broke. Like, I don't care. So, yeah, people are going to probably start thinking, who's going to replace Lewandowski at Bayern? Apparently, according to Nagelsmann, he's going to use Mane/Gnabry in that center forward position, false 9, whatever you want to call it. And, I wouldn't mind it. I think Bayern have been kind of looking for a fluid front 3. That's why we bought so many wingers that are fluid. I would love to see that. I want to see Bayern play with a false 9 for once. We can also try Vidovic. I know he's young, hasn't played in the Bundesliga, or he has, but just briefly. But I want to see some youngsters played in that position. I'm actually of the opinion that we're not going to find a striker now that replaces Lewandowski. We're just going to need to play Mane and Gnabry in that position. For me, I think that's the simplest way of putting it. Mane is a good link-up play, athletic, runs in behind. So it might unlock Kimmich's passing range and make him pass more forward, get more assist. That might be the case. It could also bring a new dynamic in the attack. I mean, before, Lewandowski scores the goals and everyone else creates the chances. So now it could be everyone has to chip in with goals. And don't get me wrong, we'll have a decrease in goals and attacking output. We'll score 2 less goals in games we would have won 5-0 with Lewandowski, right? He usually scores braces, and then we win 4-0 and 5-0 and sometimes 6-0. Now we'll score less, And we won't have the draw to defenders. Lewandowski would be there and take defenders with him, take defenders out of the game. Bayern aren't going to have that. Well, actually, we have Mane. He might do that because if he gets on the ball, defenders are going to be terrified and crowd him. That's why Lewandowski didn't score in big games. As much as people complained a lot, he doesn't score. I'm like, bro, he's getting marked out of the game by 3 center backs. They're putting a DM on him and all sorts of things because they know if we let him go for 1 second, he makes a run, gets into a little bit of space. That's all he needs to score. So teams are doing that a lot. So Bayern aren't going to have that. We're going to have a lot more players moving around. If Mane's here, he's going to move here. Gnabry's going to occupy the position. Sane's going to come in off the left or right and occupy the center forward position sometimes. So I think it's going to be a really interesting dynamic. But ultimately, I still think the modern game, despite all the calls for a false nine, Man City popularized it whenever Aguero was injured, constantly using maybe De Bruyne in that false nine position, or Bernardo Silva, or Raheem Sterling. Pep did it a lot. So it looked like the false nine was just the new thing. But then Klopp kind of did the opposite, right? With Firmino, I think, leaving Liverpool now or something. I'm not sure if he's leaving. But then he's bringing in a striker in a traditional sense in Darwin Núñez, who sucks, but a striker nonetheless. Pep's going backwards, it would seem, with bringing in Erling Haaland. So it looks to me like the teams that we thought were revolutionizing the game by not using the traditional striker are going back to the traditional cycle, to this traditional striker. And it reiterates my point for me that football moves in circles and cycles. People always say, oh man, this position is expiring. Really, the position could just be innovated by a different breed of player. But ultimately, we keep going back to the same thing. We'll have an era where no strikers are allowed, and then we'll have an era of R9s and just a bunch of strikers and Lewandowskis and Benzemas, and then we'll have an era of wingers being strikers. It'll be a cycle. That's all it is, especially with tactics and things constantly changing in the game with different demands for players. You'll see it happen over and over again. Right now, we're in the pressing era. If you lose the ball, you get it back quickly. Eventually, some manager is going to come out, coach his team to play through a press 10 times out of 10, and it's going to be the new thing. We're going to go back to possession football. It happens. Or some other managers are just going to know how to play terrorism football better than Conte and Jose Mourinho, and it maybe in like 5 years, and teams are going to go back to defensive football. It happens over and over again. So, yeah, football just moves in cycles. You got to realize football it's a game that is an art. It's the closest thing to art any sport has to offer, because you're creative in the sense that your body can be used differently at any time. You can do skill moves, and it's not like chess where you can learn chess, but it's really hard to master. Football is different. It's like an art form. You can express yourself on the pitch. So we'll see some different things. So I would not be surprised if Mane and Serge Gnabry played that position. I would love to see it. But Bayern aren't going to. I don't think Bayern are going to target anyone to replace Lewandowski. There's no way we see that happen. I don't think the club is going to go for a short-term solution. They're gonna probably use Mane and Gnabry in that position, and then next season we could go for someone like Patrick Schick. Bayern's supervisory board wouldn't approve further big investments, especially signing De Ligt, without the sale of Robert Lewandowski. That's one of the reasons the Lewandowski move has now gained momentum. Salihamidzic wants to sign De Ligt as soon as possible. Yeah, we got to get De Ligt through, man. I'm kind of getting bored of it, but I understand it's about patience, because you don't want Juventus to screw you over with a ludicrous transfer fee, and you don't want to flop. That's 80 million in a few years. Imagine if De Ligt flopped, which is possible, because we don't know how he'll perform in the Bundesliga, a higher pressing league than Serie A. So we don't know how he performs. But if he performs great, then we forget about the transfer fee. If he doesn't perform great, we keep reminding ourselves of it. So it's important for Bayern to get a good, reasonable fee that Juventus are happy with, that the Ligt feels comfortable coming for, and doesn't have all this pressure to do things that, I don't know. You see, we need to be objective. We need to remain calm. So that's what's going on. Let's see what happens. Like I said, I do not want Barcelona's bid coming in and it's like installments. Nah, pay us up front. I don't believe Barcelona are ran in such a manner as which I'll be comfortable seeing them give us nothing and then pay us next season and the season after that. I'm not comfortable with it, right? I don't like that. Barcelona's that kid that walks around with a fake Gucci thing on him, and everyone thinks it's real, so he believes it's real. But ultimately, they're broke. They walk around with finances from out of nowhere. They treat money like it grows on trees, and yeah. So that's what it is with Barcelona. I don't respect the way they run their club. They run it like a circus. It's dumb. As a person that cares about business, I would not run a company like Barcelona runs their club. It's horrible. I wouldn't be cutting costs. Like people think you cut costs and that's a bad thing. Well, no, it's not entirely true, but you got to show your ambition. So I would have signed Coutinho if I was Barcelona, but I wouldn't have signed him for 150 million. Like, you can negotiate with Lewy. I bet you Bayern tried to sign Coutinho, we wouldn't have paid 150 million for him. We would have paid 20 million. No, we would have paid, I don't know, 80 million, 70 million. But your flops are just bad, man. You spent so much money trying to replace Neymar. It's crazy. So Manuel Veth is the journalist saying, reporting that Bayern are now set to accept Barcelona's latest bid for Lewandowski. And I'm guessing the bid has 45 million guaranteed. And I don't know. Is Manuel Veth reliable? Well, my logic kind of tells me, wait, Ronaldo joined Juventus for 117 million? Oh my gosh, Juventus are dumb too. Why the hell would they spend that much for Ronaldo? Wow, God forbid. Real Madrid really screwed Juve over. What am I talking about? Well, my personal feelings are we should have sold Lewandowski months ago, right? People were making fun of me because I was like, all right, dude, get rid of him because, like, why are you forcing him to stay? I mean, we ain't Al Qaeda. We're not ISIS keeping hostages. We don't do that. So I was actually, hoping that we would get this deal done before preseason started. And then the club kept the position that Lewandowski is not leaving. He knows what's on his contract. And then there are sources saying that's from Unai Hoeneß. Unai Hoeneß is our ex-president, if you're not aware. And he's still our president, let's be honest. Like, he still controls the club. Because everyone at the club now, he personally picked to run the club, and they listened to him. So he wanted Bayern to keep a strong position about Lewandowski. And he wanted it to be like when we kept a strong position about Thomas Muller in 2014 when Man United bid 100 million for him. And Lewandowski in 2018 when Real Madrid bid money for him. But this situation's different. Lewandowski's about to be 34. He's not going to continue to be on top for years. I'll give it 1 to 2 seasons tops, world class, and then there's a decline. That's why Barca is not giving him a 5-year contract, because they actually believe he's going to decline. Duh. So in this instance, Unai Hoeneß probably wanted it to be the same thing where you keep Lewandowski by force and it makes your club look stronger, have a bigger resolve. But it's not the same situation. If someone wanted to bid for Kimmich, we're not selling Kimmich. We would keep Kimmich. That's the difference. So I don't know. Bayern should have just been like, all right, Robert, you want to go? You go, because he's not bigger than the club. We can replace you, just like we replaced Oliver Kahn with Manuel Neuer a few years later. just like we replaced Mario Gomez and Mandzukic, who was a good player for us. We replaced them with Robert Lewandowski. We can do it. We can do it. We're the only club in the world that consistently replaces world-class stars. Everyone says, oh, how are we ever going to replace Neuer? Trust me, we will. Because when you know what you're doing as a club, and you know the vision you have, you're not worried that much because you trust your scouts. You trust the team you have around you to make good decisions. And you don't have a reason not to trust them because they did it time and time again. So to replace Lewandowski, apparently Jorge Mendes, that's Ronaldo's agent, is hopeful that if when Lewandowski moves to Barcelona, we can sign Ronaldo. We can go to Ronaldo and be like, "Yo, come over, come on, join Bayern." And to be honest with you, no, CR70 is over. He's not my GOAT. He's not even in my top 5, man. I don't really rate Ronaldo. I think younger Ronaldo was good. But I remember in middle school, it was Messi, Neymar. That's it. That's all I knew. I never enjoyed Ronaldo's play style. I always thought he was full of himself. I mean, even watch a player like Messi. He's a team player. He'd rather get an assist than a hat trick sometimes. Ronaldo's not, he only does things that benefit him. He screams whenever he doesn't get a foul, and it's clearly not a foul. Look, some of y'all might disagree, but I'm not for Ronaldo. The streets are not doing it for me. CR70's over, man. Come on. Ronaldo's just that chick nobody wants. Nobody wants this hoe. She has a body count that's higher than 10. You know, her vajayjay is basically a graveyard. That's what Ronaldo is to me. He's done. It's over. Even with Man United, the majority of his goals came in spells. He wasn't scoring consistently the way people were thinking. Oh, 18 Prem goals. That's crazy. No, he scored like 3 in one game, and the game was bad. Burnley, I remember this goal he scored where it was a goalkeeper error. And a lot of his goals were goalkeeper deflects and he taps it in. And that's a result of good positioning. But these aren't goals that make me go, oh, let's sign him. And, even if he did take a wage cut, it's over. He's 37. We're not moving forward. We're moving backwards. Imagine letting go of 34-year-old Lewandowski for 37-year-old. I want a 24-year-old Lewandowski. That's what I want. I want a man that's young. No homo. I just don't forget about Ronaldo, bro. Forget about it. 1985, that's when he was born. We had dinosaurs back then. Oh my gosh. I get it. He takes care of his body. He brings Instagram followers. But sometimes it's not about that. Bayern don't care about Instagram followers and shirt sales. God damn, 467 million followers? Guys, we might need to consider signing Ronaldo. I didn't know it was that much. I thought it was 100 million. Damn. That must be bots. How does my man just have that many followers? No. Sign Ronaldo. Sign Ronaldo right now. Sign Ronaldo. Sign Ronaldo. I was joking. I take it back. Damn, he's cold. Nah, man, that's a lot of followers. Bayern's Instagram followers would immediately jump up. That's all Ronaldo brings, let's be real. Instagram followers. That's it. Damn, my man almost has the same amount of followers as Instagram themselves. How is he bigger than Instagram on their own platform? W Ronaldo Instagram followers. That's crazy. Messi. How many does Messi have? Oh, he's not busy with Instagram. He's busy being the best player of all time. Almost 350 million. God dang, bruh. They really got followers. Dang. And you see the difference between Messi's Instagram and Ronaldo's Instagram. CR70's Instagram is, my man lives his life shirtless. I think he's walking around his house with freaking boxers on, and that's it. And it has CR7 on the boxers. My man does not put on clothes. Messi's Instagram, professional. Like he's not out here trying to show you his his penis. Like Ronaldo's weird, man. I don't like that. My man's half his pictures are shirtless. Like he's wearing a suit jacket and he's still shirtless, like inside. Like, bro, you're in training, you're shirtless. This is not P, man. This is not pushing P. This is just weird, man. You're a grown man doing this. A grown man. You're 37, bro. You got kids. Your son's gonna be looking through your Instagram like, damn. Your son might actually turn gay just looking at your Instagram. And he got his son doing it too. Nah, Ronaldo's a bum. I'm not gonna lie. He's weird. He's a really odd bro. He's a really odd fella, man. I'm not gonna lie. Odd bro. That was weird. So that's Ronaldo really wants a Bayern move. He's pushing for it. But we ain't doing it. All right. We got to keep our resolve and keep our composure. Play with, a false nine if we have to, and just let it go, because CR is old, man. We want the next generation. And people always say that you're not going to find a striker that's. What about Nkunku, man? Like, everyone thinks Nkunku's like De Bruyne, but the way I watch him, he's ice cold. His technique is out of this world sometimes. Nkunku could be a striker if you really think about it. Yeah. This dude really said work left to be done. Nkunku thinks there's work left to be done at Leipzig. Hey, Leipzig are keeping their resolve with Konrad Laimer. And that tells you they want to be a serious club. So Bayern have offered 20 million for Konrad Laimer, and I think they rejected it. Like, they just flat out said, no, we're not doing it. Man United signed Lisandro Martinez. Is that the CDM from Ajax or the center back? That's short. I mean, height doesn't mean anything, but he's still like 5'9". I'd prefer my center back to be 6'2", like Matheus Ligt. Dang, Ajax are good at scamming clubs, man. They just be getting 50 million here, 50 million there. It's a pretty good strategy. And how do they do this without inserting release clauses on some of these players? Yeah, man, I got to respect it. Ajax is really consistent at getting a lot of money for, these signings they're doing. You got to respect their grind. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. De Jong, Eriksen, Martinez. Yeah, dude, that's a pretty good midfield. I think Eriksen is, losing Pogba, even though Man United fans don't like him. You got to admit, he's excellent when on his day. I think the problem with Pogba at United wasn't even Pogba. It was United. They never built a team around him. You look at France. Pogba needed a CDM like Kanté next to him to clean up. And while he just does the sexy work of passing and scoring and assisting, that's what Pogba's supposed to do. That's why he's getting the number 10 at Juventus. Because, I remember like in the beginning of last season, United played Pogba in this advanced position. And my man had like 4 assists in like 3 games or something. I was like, that's what you need from him. Got injured. But it's like, if you did that for all those years he was there, he would have been better. And then the change of managers every 6 months. Manchester United is not a stable club. Ten Hag could change that if they back him, and that's what it looks like they're doing. They signed Eriksen and Martinez, who I don't think is going to be in midfield because his position is center back. I've watched Ajax a few times, a really exceptional center back. He pocketed Haaland, so, think of that what you will. And he's like 5'9", Haaland's like 6'4". What does that tell you? Height doesn't matter, man. It's about how you utilize every inch. Women will tell you it's not about the height or the length. It's about the motion in the ocean. Yeah, that was so cringe. Yeah, but it's the way he plays. He doesn't need the height. Lucas Hernandez is 6 foot. He's not the tallest center back in the world, but he wins a lot of headers, doesn't he? he also defends like a beast. It's not about height. It's not about length. It's about how you use every inch of your body. I think Martinez would be a good sign. But Ajax are good at it. I got to give him that. The only club that's, that rivals Ajax when it comes to selling players is probably Dortmund. And the only club that rivals them for buying all their players is Barcelona. They buy every flop in the world, bro. I'm not kidding. They sell their players like De Jong, and I'm just like so lost. I'm so confused. Because how are you going to improve? Yeah, getting Kessie is great, but then getting rid of De Jong kind of just, it keeps you in the same spot. Van de Beek, he's back as well, and yeah, good player. I really rate Donny Van de Beek. I think he's an exceptional bowler. He has ability in so many ways. His first touch is great, and I think he's lively in every second. So he's lively at all times. I like Donny Van de Beek, bro. I think he's gonna be fun. I heard Dortmund is going after. You didn't get me that time. Gosh, I read it first. Okay, I'm not going to read names that don't make sense. You tried to get me, and you got me a few times. I'm so sad. My idol is Sané, and I'm going to the Bayern v City game. I really hope I can see Sané and my team win. Hope he doesn't go to Real Madrid. Sané is not going to Real Madrid. There was a source that said, nah, the rumors of Sané leaving to anywhere, they're just wrong. Sané wants to prove himself at Bayern. He doesn't. Yeah, he's gonna stay here. But I'm curious to see why you'd say he's moving to Real Madrid. That's never gonna happen. Darwin Núñez is overrated. He's not overrated. He's just trash. Like, no, I don't rate him. Only Liverpool fans rate him. This dude has fail comps already in his first preseason game. If you were a real bowler, you would show me something. He didn't show me anything. His first touch is awful. His aerial duels are awful. I don't rate Darwin Núñez, man. I do not rate him. And you can call me whatever you want. I don't care. He's not a good player. What can I say? Oh, by the way, the Serge Gnabry news is that he's going to sign a 4-year contract. So there you go. I told you. I literally told you. I'm 1,000,000,000% sure Gnabry is going to stay. He didn't strike me as wanting to leave because every time they ask him anything about Bayern, he's like, yeah, I love this club. And we'll see. That's what players do, man. What they do is wait to create drama because they love it. Players are narcissists. They just want to read their name. Gnabry could leave and then link themselves to clubs and then just sign a new contract with Bayern to up their market value. Because if people are talking about you as, this player that could leave, everyone's going to think you're leaving, and they're gonna start saying, no, keep Gnabry, and then you'll feel appreciated. That's what players do. So Gnabry was always going to stay. I knew it. 4-year contract, 2026, could be a 5-year contract. I'm not sure yet, but every source is saying 4 years. And by the way, that's a great deal because he's 27 now, so 31 when his contract expires, and you can just sell him at 30, dependent on if he's in his prime or not. So keeping Gnabry was a must. We can't lose Gnabry and then sign Mane. That's horrible because it just you're not progressing forward. You took 3 steps forward and then 2 steps back. Still 1 step forward, but not enough to make a difference in the team when you're in the Champions League where it matters. So good for Gnabry getting a new contract and staying. Now we need him to be consistent. That's all we ever wanted from Gnabry, consistency, because we know he has it in his game. He can be consistent. He can show us some things. And yeah, can't wait. Can't wait. Oh, shoot. Salihamidzic, Brazo said he's an optimistic person as it relates to De Ligt. And he says he had no doubts about Lewandowski going on strike because Robert is a top professional. Yeah, bro, that Lewandowski, this club did this thing of we're keeping him 1,000,000,000%. I'm like, why would you keep a player that doesn't want to play, want to be here? And he's 34. and you're making 50 million on him. Like, I actually think we finessed Barcelona, to be honest. Like, this is such a finesse. If it was Liverpool, Levy goes for like 15 million and that's it, because we have a good relationship with Liverpool. But because it's Barca, I think this club was like, yeah, let's torture them a bit. Have you seen Rabona TV's Barca financial situation? Yeah, they're in deep trouble. It won't show up now. And Laporta's gaining the fans in the sense that, he's making them think they don't have issues anymore. But behind the scenes, that club is a freaking disgrace. They are falling apart. They can sign Lewandowski. That's like, for a club that's that broke, you're spending hundreds of millions. In COVID times, Bayern Munich were afraid to spend big money, which is why we bought Bonasar, Choupo-Moting, and Marc Roca from Espanyol. But we did that because even though we turned a profit in COVID, which is the only club in Europe to do that, we were still cautious because what if we spend money and that player flops, but then we have COVID and we're not making revenue from stadiums and all these things. So Bayern reserved their energy. But we still had world-class players. We don't owe any of our players any wages, but you owe De Jong money. You owe Piqué money. You owe Sergio Busquets money. You owe, I think, half your team money because they took wage cuts. I hope those players put it on their contract that they're taking a wage cut because that's legally enforceable. So, yeah, man, I would not want to be Barcelona. I wouldn't, because I would just feel insecure all the time. It's like you're a broke dude. This is like Barcelona. You're the broke dude, and the debt is like, it's basically like this attractive guy or not attractive. Women don't think men's looks matter. This rich guy, there you go. This rich guy that's next to your girl, man. I'd feel insecure. Be like, crap, I'm broke and he's rich. And her eyes are turning and she's looking at his Lamborghini. That's that's the situation of Barcelona. It's just financial insecurity. At any moment, it's like a bubble. It's like a freaking market crash. It's like how did the 2008 market crash happen? What didn't just happen in the US, happened globally. Well, in the US, it was the housing bubble. And essentially, these lenders were giving money to anyone. It was essentially free money with really low interest rates. Homes were being built crazily. Everyone was buying a house. Even if you didn't have good credit, you'd get approved for a loan. And you'd get a house that was big and crazy. And everyone was getting houses. And it was just ludicrous. And then the unthinkable happens. What happens when you give money to everyone and it's at low interest rates? Well, obviously, that money means less. But then people can't afford their payments because they were broke to begin with. So they start going, well, I can't afford this. Interest rates start going up. And they're like, well, I can't afford this even more. People start foreclosing their homes because they're not making payments because you gave money to everyone. And then it crashes. There's a bubble that pops. That's what it feels like with Barcelona. They're just doing anything, right? Borrowing money constantly. And it feels like a bubble. Like, it feels like it's like the ship's sinking, but it's sinking just a little bit less because you signed some new players. But you're still in chronic debt. It's going to catch up with you. At some point, the people you owe are going to want their money back. They're going to want to enforce those contracts. They're going to take you to court. The players you owe will take you to court. You're going to pay their attorney's fees. Then you're going to pay the Spanish government for wasting their time. On top of that, you're going to pay the players. You bought Griezmann for this much. Maybe you didn't pay Atletico all the way. They're going to start suing. Bayern are going to sue you for not paying for Vidal or Lewandowski if we ever accept your installments. So, yeah, or Leeds might sue you because maybe you didn't give them all their money in totality. You see? Or you didn't fulfill an add-on in a contract. They're going to sue you. And then you're just going to get all these issues. It's a bubble, and you're going to pop. but you're not going to be trash like Arsenal overnight. It's going to be a slow decline where you're not going to win La Liga for maybe 2 seasons. Fans are going to get comfortable with top 4. And then you're going to be trying to get in the Champions League so you can make some of that revenue back. Because getting in the Champions League is valuable. It makes you money. Sponsors are going to be like, well, you're not winning trophies like you used to. So they're going to give you less money. They're going to be asking to renegotiate their contracts. Right? And then you're going to still be trying to spend money because some of your signings will inevitably flop, just like it happens with every club. Not every signing is going to make it. I think Rafinha is going to be good. I think Kessie is going to be good. I think Lewandowski is going to be good. But those aren't the only signings you're going to make in the next 3 years. So inevitably, you're going to be in this situation where you have less money in general and you still have chronic debt. The only things you're going to need to do is file for bankruptcy or something. But you're going to decline slowly. Your fan base is going to leave because they're going to go to PSG with Messi. And it's just going to happen. That's what happens, man. Because you didn't run your club well. Oh, I don't care. I think it's fun to make fun of Barcelona, but yeah. Where am I in the U.S.? I can't tell you that. I heard Ronaldo maybe to Saudi. Oh, he might go there, get some oil money for himself. Man City won't buy you with their oil money. Perhaps we'll see you with we'll see you in an actual oil country because you want to make that money. Yeah, Ronaldo's crazy, man. Vardio is better than Ligt. No. Well, I think you got to contextualize something. Vardio plays in a back 3. I think Ligt is more mature because he's literally older. Vardio has more things in his lock. Well, Yes, he's technically better than Ligt, but I wouldn't say he's a better defender overall. I think Ligt will win more headers. I think Ligt reads the game better, even though Vardio reads the game well. But they have a different skill set. I feel like you wouldn't compare the two. You would just partner them up. That would be the smart thing to do. It's like Vardio gives you the ball progression and the passing in between the lines and the switch of play with his left foot. And he can also give you the versatility of playing left back as well sometimes. Ligt gives you the leadership and the putting his body on the line. You've seen Ligt defend. This man will freaking defend with his head if he has to. Like he's the old school defender that really puts his mind on his craft. So I think there's a situation where you'd have both rather than comparing them because they give you different things that complement each other. Vardio wouldn't lead the back line like Ligt would. So yeah, I love Vardio though. He's a great defender. Just I don't know why we're comparing them. We need a perfect striker. Who will it be? Well, to be honest, I think we need to forget about that for this season. Think about it next season. People say, Holland. Oh, Mark Obridge says Ronaldo to Bayern. Please, man, don't bring Ronaldo to my team. You know what's crazy? I'll become a Ronaldo fanboy if he signs. I'll be Ronaldo's the best striker in the world. No, I promise you I won't. If I do become a Ronaldo fanboy, feel free to hate on me. Please, feel free. But if I'm over here like, yes, Ronaldo, best in the world of all time. But I do kind of see it. Like, let's be real here. Don't you kind of see it? Bayern don't sign, or we have no one else, so we get Ronaldo. Like, I would see it happening, man. I would see that deal occurring. It's inevitable. No. Well, because he doesn't want to stay. I mean, haven't you heard the news? De Jong? Who are we talking about? We will get Vardio also. I don't think we need Vardio. We already have Lucas Hernandez and Nianzou. I think Vardio is going to end up at like Chelsea or something. I just see it. Or he might stay at Leipzig for 2 seasons. I actually think if Leipzig win the Bundesliga, which is virtually impossible, and get far in the Champions League, they're going to keep some of their players because those players are going to be like, yo, I can win things here. I can build something. Footballers are always thinking like that. They can be like, I can be legends, but they also want the attention of the world. So they like playing for, bigger teams. I don't know. I see a really competitive league coming up next season. Dortmund have some new signings they like. Leipzig signed Schlager. I don't even think they signed anyone else, dude. RB Leipzig signed no one. Yeah, man. It's kind of crazy. They signed Schlager, and that's about it. Then they got some kids from their academy. Noah, Ohio, center forward. This dude has, I'm interested to see what happens. 5 goals in the Austrian Bundesliga. I don't care. I don't care. But they signed no one. Actually, I think the guy left. Yeah. I think Leipzig's going to be weird next season because they got rid of Heung Chan, they got rid of Tyler Adams, and they got Xavier Schlager. Their net spend is actually plus 25 million. So you're like, are you actually going to buy any other player, or are you just going to stay like this? Because I think they need a striker like Patrick Schick. Poulsen needs to go. They probably need a midfielder who can give them a little bit more than Campbell, because Campbell's decent at linking play, but he's not Kimmich. So they need a better midfielder. I'd say their fullbacks are good. But yeah. I guess Schlager's that midfielder for them. He's like a box-to-box, traditional, really, really talented. I think they would need another attacker. Forsberg isn't that great anymore. And they have Danny Olmo. Bro, they have a good team, but it's just like if they didn't have Poulsen and someone else, it'd be a better team. You know what I'm saying? But so Dortmund signed more players than I think anyone in the Bundesliga this year. To actually read it. Borussia Dortmund have Niklas Süle, Karim Adeyemi, Sebastian Haller, Nico Schlotterbeck, Salah Özcan. Some good players, They effectively got Haller to replace Haaland, so that's kind of cool. Haaland. And their net spend is actually in the negative. Yeah, that's good because that's the first time in their club history they're doing that. Yeah, I'm curious what Dortmund are able to do next season. I just don't think Terzic is the guy they're hyping him up to be. There's coaches out there that can do better than Terzic. They could have gone to some Turkish league or to the Belgium league and get the best coaches there that play the best brand of football. But they didn't do that. They went with the nostalgia run by getting Terzic. But we'll see. All right, everyone. Thank you all tuning in today. Just a great time to be alive with Bayern and with Barcelona and Bayern meet in the Champions League. It'd be weird to see Lewy in that side. I don't think it'd be weird. It happens every year now, apparently. 2 seasons in a row. I think we'd smoke Barcelona, to be honest. I don't think they would do much against us. I think with Mane and if Sané's on form and Gnabry's on form, our attack is just we have the most potentially deadly attack in the world. And I know that sounds weird, but wait, was I watching Sonic the Hedgehog? I was watching Sonic the Hedgehog last night. It's actually a really good movie. So I don't think we can smoke Barcelona that easily as we might have done in the past. But I think we beat them. Their defense hasn't improved. And I just think we're a league above. I mean, even when Nagelsmann's team wasn't playing well, we beat them 3-0 in both legs. So, yeah, I think Bayern are just at a different level. Because Barca's problems isn't just their players; it might be the mentality, man. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia, send Mia, and peace. Mia, send Mia just tweeted. Okay. Someone says keep waffling. What does that mean? What does waffling mean, man? Why are y'all using weird words? PSG are interested in Lucas Hernandez to strengthen their back line. No. No. All right. Goodbye. Leave a like, subscribe, share the content. See you later. See you tomorrow.